Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Biologycolony. In this video, we're going to talk about blood vascular system of Herdmania. So let's begin. So the blood vascular system in Herdmania is very well developed and greatly modified, as it includes blood vessels, and heart and pericardium. So first part is blood, where the blood is slightly reddish, transparent and hypertonic to seawater. It contains few colorless amoeboid leukocytes and 6 or 7 types of colored corpuscles. These corpuscles contains pigments that may be orange, yellowish brown, yellowish green, and there are nephrocytes present in the blood that are involved in excretion. As ascidians have blood sinuses and no capillaries, therefore there is no distinction between blood and tissue fluids due to the free intermixing. So as ascidians or Herdmania lacks capillaries, there are some cavities that are filled with blood called as blood sinuses. Next we have pericardium and heart. So the pericardium is the non-contractile elongated and transparent tube. It runs obliquely below the right gonad. Obliquely means somewhat slanted and closed at both the ends. It is filled with colorless pericardial fluid with corpuscles similar to those of blood. It has thick wall and which are made up of connective tissue, and it contains blood sinuses. Internally it is lined by the squamous epithelium. As you can see in this diagram, here is the pericardium layer that is surrounding the heart. Heart is the pear-shaped tube that is, as you can see here, it is the heart, and from here it is connected to the ventral aorta and brachiocardiac vessel, and which leads to the subendostylar test vessel that is going to the pharynx and the test region. Now let's talk about heart. It is enclosed within the pericardium. It is cylindrical and highly contractile, which is the basic feature of a heart. It is thin-walled and straight and has striated muscles. Both ends of heart are open, so it is a tube-like structure that is hollow. It has no walls, but it has a pear-shaped body that is present midway in pericardial body that probably regulates blood in the heart. So as you can see here, it is a pear-shaped body that is present in heart, and it is surrounded by the pericardium layer, and here are the cavities that are filled with blood called as blood sinus. Next, we are going to talk about various blood vessels that are present. First of all, let us locate where is the heart. As you can see here, it is present below the right gonad, and pericardium enclosing heart is found somewhat here. So it is ventrally located in the Herdmania. Now let's talk about blood vessels. There are some major blood vessels and some small blood vessels. So major blood vessels have definite walls and small blood vessels lack walls. So some major blood vessels are, first is ventral aorta. It is the largest vessel of body, and it is also known as subendostylar vessel, that is present below the endostyle. Sub means below, endostylar means the endostyle part that is present surrounding the pharynx. It arises from ventral side of the heart, and ventral aorta gives out ventral test vessel, and it supplies the ventral side of the test, which further gives out two branches, that is anterior hypobranchial branch and posterior hypobranchial branch. So the posterior hypobranchial branch sends a minor vessel to esophageal area. Next, we have anterior hypobranchial branch that gives fine vessels to endostyle and mental. Mental is the body wall. Then this joins subtentacular vessel in the that gives a tentacular branch in each tentacle and 6 to 8 siphonal vessels into the branchial siphon. Next, it has the anterior hypobranchial branch also joins peripharyngeal vessel that goes into the pharynx region. Now these two branches run below endostyle, as the name is subendostylar vessel, and these gives several paired transverse vessels to wall of branchial sac between rows of stigmata. So stigmata contains various rows of transverse vessels, as you can see in this diagram. So as you can see clearly in this diagram, here are the stigmata present in the branchial sac, and it has longitudinal vessels and it has transverse vessels. These one are the internal longitudinal vessels, and these transverse vessels are of two types, that is going through the stigmata, it is intrastigmatal vessel, and in between the vessels, that is the in between the stigmata, it is called as interstigmatal vessel. Next we have dorsal aorta. It is a stout, that is fatty or thick vessel, and it it is present mid dorsally above dorsal lamina in dorsal wall of branchial sac. It is not connected to heart, so it is not directly connected to heart, but it communicates via ventral aorta and other vessels. It communicates with ventral vessel through 5 to 7 pairs of transverse vessels of branchial sac and the circular peripharyngeal vessels and subtentacular vessels. Neural vessel arises from middle of the dorsal aorta and enters the neural complex. As we have already discussed what is the neural complex and what is the neural gland, so it is present between the two siphons. So this neural vessel goes into the neural gland that is present in the neural complex. Then we have anterior end of dorsal aorta, which sends small branch to dorsal tubercle and 6 to 8 siphonal vessels into the mantle of the branchial siphon. So these are the two vessels that are sent out by the anterior end of dorsal aorta. Next we have brachiovisceral vessel. It is very short vessel. It is present posterior to the dorsal aorta, so it is a posterior continuation of dorsal aorta, and it gives two branches, that is one left branch and one is right branch. So left one is called ventrointestinal vessel and the right one is called right esophageal vessel. Left one is long and stout and it supplies blood to left side of esophagus, stomach, intestine, rectum, left gonad and left liver lobe, while the right esophageal vessel is short and it supplies the right lobe and right side of esophagus. So the right liver lobe and the right side of esophagus. Next we have cardiovisceral vessel. It arises from dorsal end of heart and supplies blood to several organs. It is near its origin. It gives out two vessels that is the right hepatic vessel that goes to the right liver lobe and esophagio-test vessel that goes into test and esophagus. It also gives out three branches, that is the main dorsal branch, main middle branch and main ventral branch. So in the main dorsal branch we have test vessel, circular subtentacular vessel that is going at the base of the atrial tentacles, and left esophageal vessel goes into the left side of the esophagus, 6 to 8 siphonal vessels into wall of atrial siphon, so it goes into the atrial siphon. Then we have main middle branch, also known as left gonadial vessels, so it goes into the left gonad. Then we have main ventral branch. It has three more vessels, that is dorso-intestinal vessel that goes into left liver lobe, stomach and intestine. Then gastric vessel, that is it goes into the stomach. Then dorsal test vessels, it goes into the test. So by the name only we can understand that where this vessel is supplying blood. So you can see in this diagram, here is the branchial aperture or branchial siphon, and here comes the siphonal vessels. Then we have test layer. Test contains ventral test vessels, and also the subtentacular vessels are present below the tentacle and tentacular vessels are present inside the branchial tentacles. Then we have peripharyngeal vessels that are present in the peripharyngeal region of the pharynx. Then transverse branchial vessels that goes through along the stigmata and traverses the branchial sac. And then we have anterior branch of ventral aorta. This is the ventral aorta, this complete aorta that is going throughout the body. In the ventral side, it is the ventral aorta, ventral test vessel. Here is the heart. Then we have dorso-intestinal vessel. So it covers the intestinal part. Then we have ventrointestinal vessels. Then we have posterior branch of ventral aorta that is going to the posterior region. Left hepatic vessel that goes into the liver lobes. And then we have gastric vessels that goes into the esophagus or stomach. And then we have dorsal test vessel, left gonadial and right hepatic vessels. So the name also gives us the clue that where does the vessel belongs. Then we have subtentacular vessel of the atrial siphon, then siphonal vessels. So by this we can, and also we cannot miss out the neural vessel that is present in the neural complex that is given out through the middle of the dorsal aorta. And also there goes a vessel to the dorsal tubercle. So these are the vessels, blood vessels that are found inside the Herdmania and their arrangement and where does the blood is supplied. So in the next video we are going to talk about the course of circulation. So thanks for watching this video. Do like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel Biology Colony and stay tuned for more. Bye.